Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you try, someone else is just naturally better than you? They learn faster, they speak more confidently, they succeed, while you struggle. And at some point, a quiet thought appears. Maybe I'm just not talented enough. If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to explore truth that can change how you see yourself. Discipline beats talent. Every time. Not because talent doesn't matter, but because talent fades without discipline. And discipline, even without talent, grows stronger over time. So if you feel behind, if you feel average, if you feel like you're not gifted, stay with me. Because this may change how you think about your progress and your future. Part 1. The misunderstood idea of talent. From a young age, we are taught to admire talent. We see someone play music beautifully, and we say, they're talented. We hear someone speak English fluently, and we think, they have a gift. Over time, we start to believe something dangerous. That success belongs to people who are born different. So we divide the world into two groups. Those who have it, and those who don't. And if you believe you're in the second group, you stop trying. But here is the truth most people ignore. What you call talent is often just unseen practice. You see someone speaking confidently today, but you didn't see the hundreds of hours they spent struggling before. You see the result, but not the process. So you compare your beginning to someone else's middle, and then you call it talent. This belief creates limits. Because if success depends on talent, then effort feels useless. You start thinking, if I don't improve quickly, maybe I can't. If it's hard, maybe it's not for me. And this is where people quit. Not because they lack ability, but because they misunderstand growth. Talent is visible. Discipline is hidden. Talent gets attention early. Discipline creates results later. And most people give up before later arrives. So they never discover something powerful. The people they admire did not rely on talent. They relied on discipline. Part 2. Why discipline wins over time. Let's move from belief to reality. Saying discipline beats talent sounds good, but the real question is, why does it actually work? The answer is simple. Talent gives you a fast start. Discipline gives you a long advantage. And in real life, the long advantage always wins. Imagine two people. One is naturally talented. They learn quickly. They understand things faster than others. The other person struggles. They learn slowly. They need more time to improve. At the beginning, the difference is clear. The talented person looks impressive. The slower person looks average. But now, we add one factor: consistency. The talented person practices only when they feel motivated. Some days they work hard. Other days they stop. Because things are easy for them, they never build strong habits. The second person has no advantage. So they rely on something else. They show up every day, even when it's boring, even when progress feels slow, even when nothing seems to change. At first, their effort looks weak. Small improvement, no visible results. While talent still looks strong. But progress is not linear. It doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows slowly, then suddenly. After a few weeks, the disciplined person becomes more stable. After a few months, they become more confident. After a longer time, they become skilled. And the talented person? Without discipline, they stop improving. They rely on what they already know. They avoid challenges. They stay comfortable. So slowly, the gap begins to close. Then one day, the disciplined person passes them. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but permanently. Because discipline has a hidden power. It compounds. Every small effort builds on the last one. Every repetition strengthens memory. Every mistake becomes experience. Talent gives you speed. Discipline gives you direction. And direction over time is more powerful than speed without control. Think about learning English. If you rely on talent, you may improve quickly at first. But if you stop practicing, you forget. If you avoid speaking, you lose confidence. If you only study when you feel motivated, you stay inconsistent. But if you build discipline, you study a little every day. You listen regularly. You speak even when you feel unsure. Then your brain adapts. Your understanding improves. Your confidence grows. And one day, you realize you are no longer struggling the way you used to. That is not talent. That is discipline, working quietly over time. So when people say they're naturally good, what they often mean is they stayed consistent long enough to become good. And that is something you can do too. Part 3. Why most people fail to stay disciplined. If discipline is so powerful, why do most people struggle to keep it? Why do they start strong, but stop after a few days? The answer is not a lack of knowledge. Most people already know what to do. Study regularly, practice daily, stay focused. Simple, but simple does not mean easy. The real problem is this. Discipline feels boring, and modern life makes boredom difficult to tolerate. Think about your environment. Your phone is always near you. Notifications appear constantly. Short videos, messages, entertainment are always available. Everything is fast. Everything is stimulating. Everything gives you instant reward. Now compare that to discipline. Sitting down to study. Repeating the same exercise. Trying again after mistakes. There is no instant reward, no excitement, no quick success, only effort. So your brain chooses the easier option. Not because you are weak, but because your environment is designed that way. There is another hidden problem. Many people depend on motivation. They believe they need to feel ready before they take action. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel energy. But discipline works differently. Action comes first. Feeling comes later. If you only act when you feel good, you will act very little. Because feelings change every day. Some days you feel strong. Some days you feel tired. Some days you feel doubt. If your actions depend on emotions, your progress will be unstable. Disciplined people think differently. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on structure. They decide in advance. At this time, I will do this. No debate, no delay, just action, even when they don't feel like it. Over time, something important happens. The brain adapts. What was difficult becomes familiar. What felt uncomfortable becomes routine. And what required effort becomes easier to start. This is the hidden benefit of discipline. It reduces resistance. But there is one more reason people stop. Fear. Not big fear, but quiet fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding wrong. Fear of being judged. So instead of practicing, they avoid. Instead of speaking, they stay silent. Instead of trying, they wait. And waiting feels safe, but it also keeps them stuck. Disciplined people are not fearless. They simply act. Even when fear is present, they accept mistakes. They accept discomfort. They accept slow progress. Because they understand doing something imperfect is better than doing nothing. So if you feel like you lack discipline, don't judge yourself too quickly. Look at your habits. Look at your environment. Look at your expectations. You are not incapable. You just need a better system and a different mindset. Part 4. How to build discipline. Simple system. At this point, you understand the idea. But the real question is, how do you actually build discipline in daily life? Not in theory, but in a way you can follow. Let's make it clear and practical. 1. Start smaller than you expect. Most people fail because they start too big. They say, I will study for 2 hours every day. I will change everything tomorrow. This sounds strong, but it doesn't last, because your brain resists big changes. So do the opposite. Start small, very small. 5 minutes of study. A few sentences of practice. 1 short listening exercise. That's enough. Because the goal is not intensity. The goal is consistency. A small action repeated daily is stronger than a big action done once. 2. Make it easy to start. Discipline is not only about willpower, it is also about environment. If something feels difficult to begin, you will delay it. So reduce friction. Prepare your materials in advance. Keep your notebook or app ready. Choose a quiet place. And most importantly, remove distractions. Put your phone away. Turn off unnecessary notifications, because the easier it is to start, the more likely you will continue. 3. Fix your time. Do not depend on your mood. Do not say, I will study when I feel ready. Instead, decide a fixed time. For example, I will study at 7 p.m. every day. Same time, same action, no decision needed, because every time you decide again, you give yourself a chance to quit. But when it becomes routine, it feels automatic, like brushing your teeth. You don't wait for motivation. You just do it. 4. Focus on showing up. Many people quit because they expect fast results. They don't see improvement, so they stop. But discipline is not about results. It is about presence. Your job is simple. Show up. Even if you feel tired. Even if you don't perform well. Even if you make mistakes. Showing up is success, because every time you show up, you strengthen the habit. And habits create long-term progress. 5. Track your consistency. Your brain needs to see progress, so make your effort visible. Mark a calendar, use a checklist, count your days. This is not pressure, it is awareness. When you see your consistency, you want to protect it. And this builds momentum. 6. Accept imperfection. You will miss days. You will feel lazy sometimes. You will have bad sessions. That is normal. The problem is not missing once. The problem is stopping completely. So instead of quitting, say, I continue tomorrow. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about returning quickly, again and again. If you follow this system, something will change, not instantly, but steadily. And one day, you will notice. You no longer wait for motivation. You simply act. And that is when discipline becomes part of you. Part 5. Real proof. That discipline wins. At this point, the idea is clear. But you may still wonder, does this really happen in real life? The answer is yes, and you can see it everywhere. 1. The slow learner who became strong. There are many people who struggle at the beginning. They forget vocabulary. They make mistakes often. They feel slower than others. At first, they don't stand out. Sometimes they are even told, maybe this is not for you. But instead of stopping, they continue. Every day, a small effort, a little listening, a little speaking, a little reading. Nothing special, no big results, just repetition. Over time, something changes. They understand more. They respond faster. They feel less afraid. And after a long period, they become fluent. Then people say, you're talented. But that is not the truth. What you see is the result of time and consistency. 2. The talented person who stopped. Now look at the opposite case. Some people start strong. They learn quickly. They impress others early. Because of that, they receive praise. But praise can create comfort. They stop pushing themselves. They avoid difficult situations. They rely on what they already know. At first, nothing seems wrong. But slowly, they stop improving. Others begin to catch up, then pass them. Not because they lost ability, but because they stopped growing. 3. The quiet worker. In every field, there is always someone like this. They are not the most confident. They are not the fastest. They are not the most noticeable. But they are consistent. They show up every day. They do the work. They improve slowly. No one pays attention at first, because progress is quiet. But time reveals everything. After 1 year, they improve. After 2 years, they become strong. After several years, they become excellent. And people ask, when did this happen? The answer is simple. It didn't happen suddenly. It happened daily, when no one was watching. 4. The pattern is always the same. These stories are not rare. They appear in language learning, in business, in fitness, in every skill. And the pattern is clear. Talent attracts attention. Discipline creates results. Talent gives you a beginning. Discipline gives you continuation. Talent shines early. Discipline shines later. And life is not short-term. So later matters more. 5. What this means for you. If you feel like, I'm not fast, I'm not special, I'm not naturally good, that is not a limitation. It is a starting point, because discipline does not depend on talent. It depends on action. And action is something you control. Every day you decide, do I show up or not? And that decision, repeated over time, creates your future. Part 6. The identity that changes everything. At the end of everything we've discussed, there is one final piece. And this piece determines whether you stay consistent or fall back. That piece is identity. Most people focus only on actions. They say, I want to improve my English. I want to be more disciplined. I want better results. But they don't change how they see themselves. They still believe, I'm inconsistent. I give up easily. I'm not talented. And when your identity and your actions don't match, your identity wins. So even if you try for a few days, you return to old habits. Not because you can't improve, but because you don't believe you are that person. Disciplined people think differently. They don't just focus on what they do. They focus on who they are becoming. Instead of saying, I'm trying to study every day, they say, I am someone who studies every day. This is a small change in words, but a powerful change in mindset. Because now every action matters. Every time you show up, you confirm your identity. Every time you continue, you strengthen it. Let's make this simple. Don't ask, how do I feel today? Ask, what would a disciplined person do right now? Then do that, even if it's small, even if it's not perfect. Because identity is built through repetition, not in one moment, but over time. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. If you miss one day, it does not change who you are. If you feel tired, it does not define you. What matters is this: you return. You continue. Because discipline is not about never stopping. It is about not staying stopped. This is the shift. From I hope I can to this is what I do. From I'm not talented to I am consistent. From I'll try to I will show up. And when this identity becomes real, everything becomes easier. Not because the work changes, but because the decision disappears. You don't debate. You don't wait. You act. Because that is who you are. So let's be honest. Just for a moment. Maybe you are not the most talented person. Maybe you learn slower. Maybe you struggle more than others. But that does not decide your future. Because talent is only a starting point. And starting points do not determine where you finish. What matters is simple. Whether you show up, whether you continue, whether you choose growth instead of comfort. One day, people may look at you and say, "You're so good. You're so confident. You're so talented." And you will know the truth. It was not talent. It was the days you didn't feel like it, but still showed up. The moments you wanted to quit, but continued. The small actions, repeated until they became part of you. So don't wait. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel confident. Don't wait to feel talented. Start small. Stay consistent. Keep going. Because discipline will take you further than talent ever could. And if this message helped you, if it gave you a new way to think and a clearer path forward, consider subscribing, not just for motivation, but for simple, practical guidance to help you improve your English, step by step, every day. Thank you for being here. And remember, you don't need to be the most talented. You just need to be the one who doesn't stop.